Hi guys, this is Mr. Cassamas. I'm going to help you guys get started on your house design projects. You want to open up Adobe Illustrator. First thing you're going to do is go to File, Open, find the Assignments folder. You want to go to Graphics, Intro to Computer Graphics, Project House, and you guys are probably going to have a list. You want to open up the file called House Project. This is a blank template that we are going to design our houses inside. The first thing you need to do, similar to the Connect the Dots files that you guys worked on, you had a background image that you created from, is we're going to find a house and use that as a guide to create our own house. So you can use one of ours. I'll show you how to do that. You're going to go to File, Place. When you go to Place, you want to get back, it's probably going to be in the Project House folder, but you want to get to Project House, and you want to just look at these files using extra large icons, and you can find a lot of nice files, probably one that you could certainly use. If you don't like any of the ones that are available here, you can find one off the internet. So you could certainly go to the internet and you could look up maybe a type of house that you wanted. So if you wanted a log cabin, you could search for a log cabin. If you wanted a Florida type house, you could search Florida house, whatever you want. Go to Images. Make sure you go to Tools and make sure your images are big. So you want to go to Size, and I use large. So at least I know it's a big image, so when I put it on, it's going to be clear and easy to see. So if you wanted to do a log cabin, which are not easy to do, generally speaking, you could certainly pick one of these, okay? So find a picture. I am going to use one of the ones that's already available. So I will start by picking one. And we're going to start off with the basics. Okay, I'm going to use this picture. And I can use my selection tool. You want to put it somewhere in the middle. You can resize. You can make it fit your screen. Don't worry if it's not perfect on the paper right now. We can fix that later on. Okay. One of the most important things we're going to be doing is layers. Layers is a way for us to, one, organize stuff. It's a way to put stuff on top of one another. And you guys have done that by doing send to back, bring to front, and things like that. But you're going to actually use layers to organize yourself. So what a layer does is it keeps you organized, and it lets you have stuff on top of each other and behind each other, and it makes moving those things quite easy when you have multiple objects. We're going to end up with probably 200-300 shapes when we get done, so it's big. So layer one is going to be our picture. I'm going to just rename it by double-clicking on the name, and I'm going to call it pic or picture or house picture, whatever you want. The name is for you, the designer, to know what it is, so make it something you want. The eye will shut off what's on the layer and turn it back on. And right next to the eye, there's a box that is the lock box. When I lock it, I cannot move the layer. I cannot draw on the layer with a pen tool or with a shape. I can't do anything to the layer. And we want our picture layer to be by itself. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to design the walls. So down at the bottom of your layer panel, you can, which should be right here, you can create a new layer. And we're going to name it walls. You want to name it blue walls or big walls or my walls. I don't care as long as you know what it is. I'm going to call mine walls. I'm going to use my zoom tool, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit on the house. I'm not going to worry about anything besides the building right now. So don't worry about plants, flowers, trees, anything else, extra stuff. You know, there's a garden hose here, nothing. Just worry about the walls. So on the walls layer, I'm going to use my pen tool, and I want to draw out the main walls. So I'm going to click up in the top here. I'm going to come down to here. I'm going to come over a little. When I'm drawing these, it's actually a really good idea to have no fill so I can see what I'm drawing. So I'm going to have my fill be none, my stroke any color I want, just so I can see it right now. We will be changing the colors much later on. We're not even going to do colors for the first 2 or 3 days of class. So I'm going to get this wall designed. Try to imagine what a carpenter might do when they create a house. They usually start with walls. They don't have a roof before walls. They don't put windows in before the walls are done or anything like that. If these are not perfect, it's okay. The better you get them now, the easier your life is going to be. These pink lines that are coming up are called smart guides. It actually forces you to, or tries to force you to, put stuff in straight places, which is not good for this project. You probably want to go to View and make sure Smart Guides is unchecked. Okay? So I did that wall. If I fill it in with color right now, just so you can see it, it's a big red wall for now. No color's fine though. So I've done that wall. I'm going to do the big wall in the front of this house. It's a big giant wall, obviously, right here. Looks like it ends behind this bush over here. It looks like it comes behind the stairs, comes down a little, comes over. Whenever you are drawing a shape with the pen tool, 99% of the time you always want to go to the first point you put down to end your shape. It completes your shape. A few exceptions to that, but not many. So again, if I change the color of that just so you can see it's filled in, okay? So I've done my walls. I kept that, I just got rid of the color. I'm now going to lock the walls layer and shut it off. I'll go back to it later. The next layer, I'm going to create a new layer, and the next thing might be the roof of this house. So notice I didn't do this bump out yet. I'm going to make a layer called wall bump out, wall and roof bump out later on, probably next. But roof, same thing. Use my pen tool. Roof starts right there, comes down, goes over, comes up, and goes back. Okay, my roof is done. Let me shut it off, lock it. Create a new layer. I will call this bump out walls. Bump out walls, I want to, this I could do it in one giant thing, but we need the angle of these walls. We need this to be a brighter or lighter blue than this later on. So I want this to be two separate pieces. This is not one giant wall. Don't draw it like one giant wall. Draw it something like this, and then you can start your second one and draw it something like this. If these are not in the perfect spot, again, I got it close. I'm going to zoom in the next couple days and make them perfect. I'll show you how to do that. Use the white selection tool called the direct selection tool. It's simple. Get them as good as you can. Saves you time, but if you don't get it perfect, don't worry about it. Lock that. Shut it off. Lock that. Create a new layer. I might call this bump out roof. Okay, bump out roof, same thing. There are angles to this roof. It's hard to see. It's a little blurry, but I know that there is one part of the roof that is on a different angle that covers this wall. And then there's another roof over here. Don't be afraid to zoom in a little more. I'm kind of staying a little zoomed out so you can see the big picture, but that'll be fine. Okay, so you're going to spend the first day or two doing this. The next layer that I would do would be called windows. I'm going to do all of my windows. I could make one perfect window. This is a case where I could make one perfect window. These windows are all the same exact size. Basically, and they're all in the same exact angle for sure. So I could take this once I get done with one, copy it, paste it, and move this up here and kind of use those multiple times, save myself some time. Certainly do that. So once I do all the windows, I would shut that off, lock it, make a new layer, maybe called shutters, draw my shutters. Once that's done, lock it, make a new layer, call it chimney. Do the, or blue parts of chimney, do my blue parts. Once I get done with that, I might make a new layer, call it white trim, and I'm going to spend a lot of time. This is where you want your details to be nice, is get my white trim. I do a piece that's like this because it's on its own angle. Do another piece that is like this. Do one big piece across the top. This is actually two pieces of trim. One is on the side of this house and one is on the front of the house. So you want to draw a shape that's on the side and draw a shape that's on the front. That'll make us look like we are doing good. So this is the step one video of this. I will be showing you more videos in the soon future on how to color stuff in, but this will get you started, okay guys? So I will talk to you soon. Thank you.